Hello, Assalamu alaikum. My name's Yusra,
Hi everyone, my name is Fatma.
and we're the marketing Saudi specialists.
So Yusra, tell me a little bit more about your background.
Born and raised in Saudi, born in Jeddah, raised in Jeddah and Dammam. But yeah, Saudi's home. I would, if I could, I would get the passport, pay $1 million, get the passport somehow. But yeah, Saudi's truly home for me.
So being raised in Saudi, did you feel like you had the same upbringing as Saudis, or was it like?
No, I think there's definitely a segregation, right? Because we don't suppose for someone if someone's raised in white or European countries, if you're born there, you go to the same public schools and stuff. With us, we go to different schools. The Saudis go to different schools, so there's definitely a segregation, and there's a lot of cultural differences. There's so many similarities.
Yeah.
But I would say something which unites, I think, everyone is the food. So I know my memories of my candies from my childhood would be same as yours, right? It would be oh yeah, we get the $1 popsicle, or you get that juice, or you get the Suntop orange juice and stuff like that. But yeah, and then I don't know, I love Saudi, so yeah.
Yeah. Which city was the best to live in? Jeddah or Dammam? Now I'm a Jeddah girl. I'm from Jeddah, but I've lived most of my life in Dammam. And I live in Riyadh, so I lived everywhere. But where do you find yourself more comfortable?
I would say because I was only 7 years old when we moved to Dammam, and then I've lived 17, 18 years in Dammam.
Oh.
So Dammam is home. But at the same time, Riyadh is I have this almost as if I'm going to London or Switzerland. Riyadh is that for me, because
Really?
I have really my core memories from my childhood, my best friends, my childhood best friends, my dad's childhood best friend, a lot of family friends who are family who live in Riyadh. And Riyadh today is just seeing Riyadh also change over the past 10 years. It's something it's definitely something okay, I'm in awe of that, and I'm in awe of what Saudi is going to do in the future, inshallah.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, Riyadh is definitely changing. I feel when I moved here, I really did feel the change, because I used to live in Riyadh when I was a kid. So I grew up in Riyadh. I spent here 7 years, but it has changed. It made a whole 180. Even the people themselves, you can see in the people's faces how excited they are for the future, which is amazing. Well, for me, I grew up in Saudi, and I also had 4 years of my life in Canada. Now, I lived in Canada, Toronto, and I was really young. I remember I studied KJ1, KJ2, first grade, and then I moved to Saudi. And I remember when I first moved to Saudi, I had the same perception of, oh my God, we're going to ride camels to school. I really did believe that. We're going back to Saudi, we're going to do that. And even the uniform for school was so new to me, because we used to wear jeans and a t-shirt and then a hijab, which was funny. But yeah, Saudi was definitely very different. And I remember I went from Canada to Riyadh right away. So it was a culture shock, and also it was kind of an identity crisis. Definitely, I was I don't speak a word of Arabic, but I feel I love the food here. The food is much better.
Food's amazing.
Yeah, the people look like me. So am I actually Saudi? But oh my God, culturally, all the cartoons I used to watch are all Canadian. So that definitely I felt that. I really went through that phase. But eventually, spending a lot of time in Saudi really did change me, and I went back to my roots, and I rediscovered who I am and where I come from. And there's a lot of pride that comes with that, especially now seeing everything grow and seeing the potential everything the country has. But we definitely moved a lot in Saudi. So I lived in Riyadh, I lived in Jeddah, and I lived in Dammam as well. So I've been through all the big major cities in Saudi. And I can definitely say that Dammam was the best one of them.
It's so peaceful. Dammam and Khobar, Dammam, Khobar, Tehran, my dad always says, it's just so peaceful there. And even because when I moved from Jeddah, we're coming from traffic, and 5 lanes to 2 lanes. There's one highway which connects the Mam Khobar. So yeah, no.
So simple, so quiet.
Simple, quiet. Riyadh is bustling at 1 a.m. on a weekday.
Riyadh definitely has that hustle culture, I feel like.
Especially now. I feel like in the past 5 years things have really changed. But I have to come back to one thing. You said that you definitely like the food better here.
Yeah.
So when you moved, do you remember like the food which was like, okay, like this is why like I want to live in Saudi, like this is what
Ooh.
won me over? Because I have a childhood core memory with food, so I want to share mine after you share yours.
Mine's gonna be so silly. You're gonna be like, what the hell?
It's not gonna be so
But it's Andumi.
really,
Yeah.
okay, it's cute because people really I know, like, so because I've also lived in Canada, when I used to go back, I used to just take the candies and the ones like the the $1, $2
Yeah.
candies, the
See?
sour pumpkin stuff,
Yeah.
and then stuff like this, like Indomie,
Those
the
are the things
noodles
like
and
you
stuff.
crave.
Yeah,
like it
yeah,
sticks with you. If
yeah.
you taste it once, you're gonna be like, oh, I need it again.
It's like the comfort, nice food. It takes you back. I want to ask you, how did you first time hear about Muzz? What was your reaction? Everything that comes to your mind.
Yeah, well, it was actually through the job posting on LinkedIn.
Okay.
It's a very boring answer. But I was familiar that apps like this existed in Saudi. They do exist. And this like line of work also kind of exists, but there was always a middleman, which was like through matchmakers. Definitely, I had my own opinion when it comes to matchmaking. I know that, not all of them are very truthful. They do charge a lot. So I never like went that route when it comes to marriage, or I don't know anyone who really did. But when it comes to like Muzz, it was definitely like a shock to me. I remember when I first saw it, I was like, astaghfirullah, they're trying to make things halal now. They're trying to make dating halal now. But when I like went through the features and really understood what Muzz was about, I got really excited for this position. So yeah, here I am now. But I remember, like I was very, very hesitant. Like before even applying, I actually did apply. I think my application got lost, but I did apply and it never went through. And I applied again and then I got a response.
So when you spoke about this to your family, your siblings, your mom, your dad, what were their reactions about, working for Muzz?
Yeah, so I didn't tell my parents. I went through the whole application process. I went through the interviews and everything.
Even the exercise?
Even the exercise.
Okay.
I was like, I'm not going to talk about it until like I make sure that like I'm in, because it's just unnecessary arguments. So I was like, let me just go through this, because I know like in my heart, I know that it's like they're doing good. I know what they're trying to do is for a good cause. And especially when I met the CEO, Shaz, he was very clear about what his intentions were. So I was very, very confident from that end, from the moral end. I felt like, okay, I know he's definitely trying to do something good. So I want to be a part of that. So I went through everything. I got accepted. And then I told my mom. She was happy for me. And she never asked what was it about. So I was like, oh, you never asked, so I'm not gonna go through it. Yeah, until I spoke to my then fiance about it, and I told him like, and he's my fiance is very like, he's better when it comes to deen stuff. So I told him about it. And I was like, if I can convince him, I'm sure I can convince my parents. So I convinced him. And I didn't even convince him. I just spoke to him about it. And he was like, oh, yeah, I've heard about this concept before. So he was like open about it. I was like, okay, nice. Now, like the second phase is talking to my parents. So I went to especially my dad. I spoke to him. And at first his eyebrows were raised. He wasn't really happy. He was like, what? What are you trying to do? But when I explained more about like how Muzz is halal, he came around and he was like, no, this actually seems like a good opportunity. You really are solving a problem. And my dad is very conservative and very traditional. So he doesn't take marriage lightly, and he really addresses it as a serious topic. But he's also aware of what's happening in today's, like, what are the problems that we're facing today? And one of them is like people meeting in a non-halal way with non-halal intentions. So he's like, no, you're definitely doing something great. Now he's like my biggest supporter. So if any of my family members is like, what are you doing? He's like, she's doing something amazing. Like, yeah. He's very, very supportive, alhamdulillah. Now he's like by my side. So no, I'm very happy that I am with Muzz, and I'm really convinced that if someone gave me the time of day, I can like walk them through what Muzz is, and they'll eventually be like, oh, no, that there is a problem.
So yeah, we have you on the team because you're through and through Muzz supporter. So you're not gonna, like, not stop fighting for Muzz, and like making sure that people understand what the application is about, and
Absolutely,
and why we
absolutely.
need it. Like as you said, like as your dad said, or like he's aware about this, like people are meeting in non-halal ways for non-halal intentions, and
Yeah.
marriage is not a joke. And I mean, just to like kind of like there's something which I feel like I kind of struggled when I came about to working with Muzz, or like when I was thinking of working as a marketing specialist, because marketing is not just like I'm working for the company, I'm even endorsing it, and like kind of pushing it out there, right?
Yeah.
So I remember, like as you said, like when I kind of got into the interviews in the inner circle, I realized that okay, yeah, Shaz's intention is really to help people get married, and like, and any tool can be used in a wrong and right way. It's up to you
Absolutely.
how you use it. And personally for me, my best friend in London, she got married off the app, and that's how I came. I mean, they're happily married. They just had their first year anniversary celebration like
Oh, how
last month.
cute.
So
Mashallah.
alhamdulillah, and like I mean, and it's just this is just one of the 500k success couples we have, and people are not lying about it. They are actually success couples, and yeah, exactly. Like when I spoke to Shaz and everything, and the way not only just what he wants to do with the Muslim marriage and helping the singles, but also the part where it's like charities and stuff like that, like
Yes.
I used to always see like, yeah, Muzz is raising for Yemen, Muzz is raising for this cause in
Gaza,
Syria or
yeah.
Gaza, Palestine, but it really makes me emotional because being part of a Muslim company who genuinely worries about sharing the revenue and profit with like the less fortunate, like you're building your akhirah, right? And then inshallah we're making the app better, so hopefully people start using it for the right reasons.
Yeah, it makes you
Inshallah.
really, really proud to be a part
Yeah,
of.
yeah. I mean, one
something.
success couple to us, like lifetime hasanat, inshallah.
Remember, we were talking about this, like, we're building the youth, we're getting people married,
Married.
and then they're having kids.
Yeah.
We're basically like, the Muslim
Yeah.
youth is in our
In
hands.
our hands. Inshallah, all good and khair.
Yeah, but what about you? How did you go about, like, how did you come across Muzz?
So again, like first thing was my best friend getting married. Other aspect would it be like me turning 23, 24, and that's when my mom kind of brought it up first time, like, oh, do you like who are you gonna get married to or something? And I was like, I thought all this time like you're gonna find me someone.
Yeah.
And I was at that time I was in Canada, in Toronto. I was studying, working there, and I was not working for Muzz at that time. But then that's when I kind of decided to give the app a shot. But I was very like clear the way I'm gonna use it, and at the same time then like I don't know how, like it was like God's plan, Allah's plan. I got laid off, and then I started working part-time for Muzz. I did that for a year. I moved back to Saudi. I thought about the job for like 6 months, and I'm not lying. I saw it on LinkedIn, same as you. It used to
Yeah.
come Muzz marketing specialist, and I used to just like overthink it. But then again, like I connected with Shaz one day. I emailed him, I messaged him, and then he was like, yeah, okay, like let's talk about it. And here we are, alhamdulillah. And I feel
Yay.
like it's amazing. You're learning a lot. And then for me, Muzz is like, people have aspirations of working for Google and stuff. I
Yeah.
feel like it's cool, like you're working for a Muslim
Tech
company and like
company,
tech
yeah.
company, and we're growing, and then inshallah, like all good intentions.
Yeah, absolutely. And how did your family react? I imagine they were cool with it, especially because
Yeah,
your mom.
I think they were cool with it because even like, okay, so when I say like, I start using the app initially for myself for stuff in Toronto and Canada, my mom maybe initially she was like, okay, what's this, what's that? But then even she, like she's, I think she's realized the times have changed. Again, like getting married, which Shaz kind of started, like the whole reason he started this is that getting married for single Muslims has become harder. And again, as you mentioned, like going through these rats of matchmakers and these aunties and stuff, it can be really expensive. And there's so much like, I'm not saying that like Muzz is like, oh, you get on Muzz and you're gonna get married tomorrow. Like I'm not married yet, but it does, everything good takes time, and
Yeah.
it's not like there's like, I'm not shopping for something. It's
Yeah.
finding a life partner,
Finding that Prince Charming takes a
finding
lot
that
of time.
Prince Charming, inshallah. So yeah, it takes time. So she was fine with it. I mean, you're part of the company. You know how amazing the team is and how helpful everyone is, and so yeah, alhamdulillah. Why would you endorse Muzz for your sister or your sibling or your best friend, anyone, like your brother for that matter?
In Saudi, it's like basically through families, and that worked for a really long time. And it especially worked when like societies were very small. So that's when it best worked. Even when you were divorced, you can get married again and a third time, and it was absolutely fine. But that's not the case today. Now, like Riyadh alone has 7 million people. That's insane. And how can you connect all of these together? Like I know great men that are very eligible for marriage. They make great salaries. They're ready. And I know also women that are beautiful. They're ready for marriage. They make a great living and they're like ready for that next chapter, but they're not finding each other. And that's where I think Muzz comes into play. You could go the matchmaker route, but that will cost you a lot of money, like way too much money, where you also are not sure about like what she's providing. And if she's providing something, she's providing in her circle as well. So she's not giving you those options. With Muzz, you have this huge database of users that are also ready, that share the same interests, of course, when you filter them. So it gives you like a huge opportunity. I feel like I try to convince people, but of course there's going to be like friction because it is a new idea, but I'm slowly seeing a lot of people accepting it. And that's why I believe Muzz is truly, truly a solution, especially for this day and age. Like I said, societies are growing. Like, although we are connected through social media, we are the most distant we have ever been in our lives.
For sure. No, I agree.
So people do not know each other. This is a way to link with families that are ready to get married. I feel like Muzz is the best solution, and it's yet to be discovered in the Saudi like nation, and I'm so excited for the potential it has here in Saudi.
No, for sure. And I agree, like as you said, like the part where like, you know, we're so connected on social media and everything, but like marriage has just become incredibly hard, right? So I mean, and just as you said, like, you know, why you want people to get on the app and, you know, try, because you know people who are actually eligible, ready, they're amazing people.
Yes.
They deserve to find the perfect one. And I mean, if I have to just like really personalize my own, like, I don't know, like life story or whatever, since like the wedding talk started, I feel like, yes, I'm ready for marriage. I know what I want. I'm kind of clear about that. I think I'm mature enough and stuff. But again, if you go through the rishta auntie route and stuff, the people they bring in is very limited. And like something which I feel like Muzz allowed me at like when I was kind of actively using the app is that being very clear about, you know, what I want. For example, like, okay, I want the person to be a certain way with, you know, Islam and religion because it's so important to me. It's very clearly, I can just put it out there and be like, okay, yeah, you know, if this is you, we can come and we can talk and we can involve the parents right away. I mean, personally for me, when I used the app, I even had like a wali on the app and stuff just so I feel more comfortable. I had my pictures blurred just because, you know, I wasn't really comfortable in the start, just like, you know, having my pictures being like, I don't know, on an app or something. But I mean, over time I've also understood, like, you know, even if I don't have them blurred, and just have a picture up there just for everyone to see, not for everyone, but like anyone who matches with me, it just helps, like, you know, getting that awkwardness out of the way. But yeah, I feel like those things, like, you know, connecting with like-minded people, finding people who are actually like really interested in someone like who's like, oh yeah, you know, I want the same things as you in a marriage, with like religion, with like traveling around the world, with like, you know, aspirations and goals. I feel like Muzz really makes that easy.
Absolutely.
So yeah, no, I think, and as you said, like, it's yet to be discovered, and I think it's only going to get better, like, as more people start using it, because then you're going to be able to connect more people from all around the world, like, you know. Yeah.
Sorry, not to interrupt you, but what's even amazing about Muzz, and what I'm seeing, like, they're actively trying to adjust the app for the people in Saudi.
For sure.
So like the features that are coming up, like I cannot explain how like detailed they're going, just to truly, like, the purpose is very, very clear. They're truly trying to make a solution for this issue that we're facing. So I'm so excited, even for the new features that are coming up. I feel like for the Saudi nation, and specifically for like Saudis themselves, they are going to find like great value in this app. So I'm so excited.
As you said, like, you know, the features which are coming up, and again, like, you know what, if I go to a point back when I was thinking of working as a marketing specialist, I was like, because I have to make sure that whatever we're doing at Muzz aligns with my personal values and beliefs, because I cannot be like, oh, in my personal life I care about this and that and blah blah blah, 100%. But like in my work life, you know, I don't care. But like seeing the team, seeing CEO the Shaz like talk about and the vision he has, it honestly makes me proud. And because I'm such an emotional person, but the last company update we had, I literally was like, okay, alhamdulillah, I made a good decision, because suppose if there's any problems I face with the app, I've realized the team is already working on making it better so that that, you know, we filter out those, I don't know, bad weeds or whatever, and
Yeah.
make it better for like, and as you said, like, you know, it's going to be so helpful for the Saudi locals as well as any conservative family or someone like me also, like, you know, it's not like, you know, we've grown up in a very like haha hee environment. It's been, you know, there's a certain way we've been brought up in Saudi.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's, I think, for the whole Muslim community. So I feel like that's really just going to help, you know, even the parents feel more at ease with their kids being on the app, and then the people who are serious about marriage finding that seriousness, you know, that people at times complain about, you know. But I think that's just the world. But I think Muzz is really actively working on making sure that that's the priority over anything else.
110%. Yeah, super
Works great.
excited.